Hello, Tankers Gamers. This is Momentary Genius here with a video I'm really excited to make because it's about my favorite tank and tank line in Cold War, and that is the T-72s. In this video, I'll be featuring predominantly the T-72AV, the T-72BU, and for the final two clips, we'll have matches for featuring the T-72M1 and the T-72 Ural. I'm going to be doing a commentary for the tech tree tanks and not the premium tanks because the only advantage the premium tanks have over the tech tree is just the premium bonuses. In all honesty, you can do a lot with just the T-72AV. It is the king of Era 2. Fun fact, I know what you're saying, that the FB4211 with its absolute troll armor, great DPM, etc., is the king. It's not. Actually, the T-72M1 has the most block damage in Cold War. That is according to Chuji of the Wargaming development team for World of Tanks console. That was in a weekly assault video, actually, turns out. So, going off that, if you were to get a premium tank, I would really suggest you go with the T-72M1 because, while it may not have... I think the reason it has the most block damage is it's a sniping tank. You keep that tank at a distance and you are going to be wrecking fools. And then when you need to get up close and personal, they're really soft and lacking health points, which you will have a plenty of because you've been slamming them from across the map. So yes, T-72M1, good armor, good speed, and a good gun, which the T-72AV also has, just better armor. And oh, it's not going to cost you any gold, any actual money. That's why I say, if you want a really good Cold War tank, get the T-72s. Their only weakness is people's fascination with gun depression. And yes, it has 6 degrees of gun depression. You can make that work by... There's 2 ways, I guess you could say, you could play the T-72 AVs, or T-72s in general, or any low gun depression tank, but more focusing on the T-72s is stay back, snipe. I prefer to try to go for a supporting role at the start, and then once the match reaches a point, or if maybe your position is being overrun possibly, getting into a brawl, you'll have the health points that they don't have because you've been whittling them away from a distance. Now here, with this T-72A, I'm taking more of an aggressive stance because I have the support from the rear to where I will be distracting them. And if you can get a tank into a circle of death, which because of the speed of a lot of the Cold War tanks, and especially the T-72s, you can get them where they're just spinning around in their hull, not being able to go forward or backwards, and then you're slamming them from the rear while your team or teammate is picking them off from a distance. So that's the other playstyle, is if you're the one going to be breaking the line or getting into a scrum and brawling, having teammates or a teammate bringing in fire from afar, you're going to just be sowing chaos amongst your enemy team's ranks while you're coolly and calmly taking away their health points. Now, unfortunately, we are going to lose this match, but what I wanted to highlight with this match was the damage output you can do with this tank relatively easily. And with the armor and speed of this tank, you'll kind of get used to being either the first man, the first tank taken out of the game, just because you're probably the fastest tank to discovering the enemy team, or you're going to be the last tank standing because you've just been able to fight better. So here we are. We're up to 4,000, over 4,000, and I'm just like, well, I know we're gonna lose. It's just time to start farming damage. It's 10-2. I don't. That'd be a hell of a comeback, but it's just not gonna happen. So we're gonna let this play out for a bit here. There's nothing special, but all I can say is just keep moving. Get those crazy angle bounces that can only happen when your tank's in motion. Happens a lot when you're light tanks, but it can happen definitely here with the T-72s. Weirdly enough, it seems to be shots that hit your corner of your rear bounce off pretty well. I don't know why, but it's like, all right, I'd rather bounce than get penned. And definitely, obviously, you always want to keep your barrel either pointing forwards or to left or right, but never over your rear, because especially with tanks that have those gas barrels over the rear there, it's just going to point your gun up, as was annoyingly demonstrated in my last What the Bot video and featuring some bots not properly using T-72s. Now with this video clip or match, we have where I become a one-man wrecking crew. I will be coming up against my first victim will be a T-72 Ural. The reason I don't recommend the Ural over the T-72 M1 is while it does have side armor that sort of protects the tracks, but it's just a few metal slates along the side. They're broken up and they don't run all the way down the side of your hull. The gun on the Ural isn't very accurate. It's probably the least accurate. I've watched rounds, even when perfectly still, they can still get buried in the ground, fly left, fly right, fly above. It's more of a, and that's why, and it's really why you see a lot of the T-72 Urals YOLOing. Not only because it was given away in a season pass, but also if you can get the Ural to the behind the enemy in their lines, it's better. It's a good flanking tank like that, because as long as you're up close and personal, you'll be able to do damage. But it also has like the least pen of the T-72 tanks. So yeah, when it comes to the premiums, I still prefer the T-72 M1. The Ural is just, I guess, to balance it out, they tone down the penetration and accuracy. So, and that is why when I come up against this Ural, you're going to see some more new player mistakes, because they tried to flank me, but when I realized the situation was like, oh, I'm just going to stay behind you. And we both trade shots. I get a little more chunk out of his health bar, but what I was trying to do here is, clearly I'm not going to take this into the city. I know where my team is, but don't think my team really sees where I am, because I brought out this Ural to try to more open territory to help get some supporting, and that didn't happen. No supporting for me, just me all alone having to outsmart the other player, and thankfully I do. Always a good idea when you're using the RBRT, R1, R2 is do it from behind, never when you're looking at a tank head on. So now I'm working the city line here for Hellrun, just because I know heavies like to come this way mercifully. That was the only member of the enemy team that decided to take the city, so yay, I didn't get out screwed by the game. Yeah. So here I am moving up on my next victim, which is a Centurion 9. Okay, I will fully admit I shouldn't have but I really wanted to slam an ATGM into that front left side, or his left, my right, because that's where the some of the ammo was stored. So I really wanted to ammo rack him and really, rub it in that snooty, stiff upper lip Brit's face. But I could have slammed a couple rounds into him. I still get the ATGM to him, bust his tracks, and now here I am, circle of deathing him. Yay! Look at his turret try to catch up. It almost does. His team is trying to support him as we're winning, and now, oh no, it's another British, but this time it's a light tank trying to circle of death me. But I kind of know what to do here. Don't spin my hull around, try to keep it moving, going for those crazy bounces, and using a hill to slow down a light tank will help you out. I learned that the hard way and the long way by playing the Churchills in World War II. But yeah, it's all about timing. So 3 kills, 5,000 damage. Let's just use that. Still making decent silver. That's key, because even without premium, I've been making over 50,000. Yay! Thank goodness for that Cold War standard premium boost, because this mode's way too damn expensive. So yeah, when it comes to the Ural, you're gonna have to be a little closer and be willing to accept that shots are just gonna fly off crazy. And now, I know I've been talking about the sniping a little bit. Here on the Thepol Ridge, I'm going to demonstrate that the accuracy of the T-72 AV, again, tech tree tank, can snipe. If anything, my only complaint is I should have moved sooner off this ridgeline, but you know how it is on this map. You got to have some ridgeline queens that just refuse to move off this ridgeline, because I start off strong, which usually happens, and then as the teams start moving behind hills and off the opposite-facing ridgelines, I start seeing all the markers and other team get lit up. It's like, oh, maybe, no, but then there's only like little pixels of little openings to really snipe through, and that doesn't always work because the tanks are moving. Best way to keep your tank from getting hit is to keep it moving. There's a simple pro tip for you. But yeah, obviously from a distance, the damage is more likely to get low rolled, yay, but I said hello to those leopards and that M60 from across the map, and getting close to 2,000 damage here already. It's always nice knowing I've softened up the enemy team for when those tanks finally come up against my fully health teammates, hopefully, fingers crossed. And like I said, now here I am. I'm looking for desperate shots just because now we're getting slivers, we're getting pixels. It's like, yeah, it's time to move. But I refuse to, just because I see potential. And as I was saying about potential, I see muzzle flashes, I see trees falling, I see tanks going from being detected to undetected. But yeah, it's about this time I should be moving and relocating, which I kind of am, but I probably should have done this, really be doing this 30 seconds to a full minute earlier. And I'm getting a little bits and pieces, but yeah, they're all behind the hill, and I'm just wasting my time and risking, teammate loss and possibly losing the whole match, because I just arrogantly think I'm Vasily Zaitsev and super sniper here. And I get these little bits and pieces that kind of make me think I am, but the truth of the matter is, it's time to relocate. But I don't, and that's my biggest complaint. From this area, I just want to hold on to it. This is the hill I think. This is the hill I want to win on. This is the hill most times in this match. Usually, you can find yourself dying on. But we're doing okay, mostly because I have some members of my team are a little more competent and are able to hold their line a little bit better. Oh, I love True Vision. It's like, hello, you are not at all being stealthy. But yeah, as you can see, I'm starting to look. Oh man, just trying to peek around bushes. Is there something behind the bushes? Is there a barrel sticking out? Is that a rock or is that a turret? Now we have P4211, which I'm trying to. When you know where to shoot, you have the potential of hitting with this tank and the FP411. The problem with FP411, this is what's always annoying about people. Is like, oh, all you have to do is you aim for the driver's window, the gap between underneath the turret, the off center on the cupola because there's a view in front of the acts speed or spaced armor, very low on the side of the hull, just above, before the tracks. It's all these small narrow gaps. You're basically pixel sniping on a moving target. So that's what's always annoying about the FP411 and all this recommendation. Yeah, I know where to shoot the damn thing, but it's moving. I'm probably moving. So forgive me if I miss, and everyone gets annoyed with the trollish armor of the FE4211, which was given out in a season pass, is highly recommended for especially new players, and why we always end up seeing with either 5 on each team or 7 on one team and none on the other. As they say, it is what it is. But yes, as you can see, I was with pretty dang near laser precision hitting that FP411. Maybe not hitting where I wanted to because it was moving, but those rounds did not really deviate too much from where I was pointing. And here, alright, too much, as this is a PS5, too much R1, R2, bouncing, and annoyingly, the Leopard 2 is going to make me have to aim. Ugh, just trying to be all lazy and relaxed. Instead, I have to work to get this kill. And now we're tied. I've got decent health because I sat back and sniped. But we're creeping up very close to 5,000 damage. Now it's basically just spoilers, my tactic works here and we win, but at the same time I really maybe could have just found a better position on the map to either most likely spot and maybe provide some busted tracks for my teammates to capitalize on, but I still refuse to leave this ridgeline. So you're going to see me kind of have seconds to get a shot off. Or, well, barely a second, I should say. As you'll see here, because, oh, look. When it moves forward at this one little gap, this turret's exposed, and I miss because I'm trying to shoot a soda can through a porthole from 100 meters away on a moving target. At least with a nice open area, I can actually hit this in turn and track him. I was hoping actually for a second tracking shot there, but that didn't work out. But thankfully he backed up, giving me plenty of time to properly aim. And now it's just, it's tense. But as long as they're moving and not in a proper firing position, we have the high ground. Yay, now the high ground once again is more advantageous, but this is a close one. I had to earn this victory, which maybe could have been a little easier if I hadn't held this victory line. It's always, there are just some matches you're always second guessing yourself. Did I do this right? Did I do that right? Could I have done this better and won sooner, or gotten more damage? Or if I'd have gone right instead of left, would I have been able to flank the enemy team? Now I know that they went all this way and my team was able to stop them. That's when you know you're thinking too much about the game. You should probably pick up another game like Stray, which is a game I'm currently streaming on my Twitch. So check that out if you want a more relaxing and less chaotic game. So here's a scenario that, going back to my one-man wrecking crew, is, yeah, you can hurt other team pretty well, especially in group settings. Now I do have support. I gotta be honest, I do have support in this tank, but in this case, but yeah, those two tanks move up on you, and once you're comfortable with the T-72 AV and its armor and its gun, its mobility, you stop sweating like the small numbers, especially toward the end of the match, because it's like you're hurt more than me, so that helps. And here we are, another victory, obviously, because why would we show the losses? 5 kills and a paltry 7,500 damage. I'll take that to the bank. Thank you very much. And yes, currently I'm still almost have my commander leveled up, so even right now that's the only thing that needs to be leveled up about this tank at all. Everything else is fully upgraded. And yeah, yes, one marked it. Now this next clip, we will have the T-72 BU on the Siegfried line. A map. I have no idea why it's in Era 3 or why it's in Cold War altogether. It's so small. So take everything about the T-72 AV and make it better, and that's what you have with the T-72 PU. However, because now we're to the point where all the other tanks have all other nations tanks have finally reached that point of like, yeah, we know how to counter the enemy tank, i.e., the Soviet T-72. So all the other tanks, for the most part, especially the MBTs, are your equals. You are not superior. They have weaknesses and strength, but they're few, just like you have fewer weaknesses. So yes, Arthur, you do have to think more about where you're shooting. RBRT is really not recommended. But with this match, it's more about how this tank can perform in an absolute chaotic brawl, because that's what ends up devolves to. It's hilarious. Here's just Bradley that I farm. I have no idea why. Hey, a man and his machine gun. Sometimes you just gotta let him have fun. Maybe stupid, but it makes him happy. And right here, if I just aimed a little more to the right, I'm pretty sure I could have gotten the kill shot. So this is what I don't like about... Oh, lag. That was horrific lag. I had a clean shot, and no, technology decided to go real wonky on me. So going forward, speaking of going forward, oh no, it's a Bradley. coming up and face hugging me. Not a Bradley. It's an M1A2 Abrams. Sorry. It's not used to these Americans having names. Right? Well, yeah. Don't face hug with an Abrams tank. You have an upper plate that is weak. And from the front, the T-72, just like the AV is, and the BM, is pretty good. Granted, we are dealing with more powerful guns, so penetration is more likely. But oh, that was such a lucky hit right there. I feel so sorry for this leopard. He gets into this position on the one hand where he's semi-protected, but as you're going to see, he kind of gets trapped there. I don't think he expected me to know where to shoot, and now this BMP kind of comes in for the distraction. Instead, he just traps his teammate there. So this is what I mean by this, just a brawling mess. It's like just dogpile in. And I'm like, all right, I have no clean shot because there's too many dead tanks and my own team's getting in the way. And I decided to shoot a hill because this leopard scared me. He almost had us flanked. Sadly, he did not. So this is something you can do. It's just, you can get into messes and probably will come out victorious. You can stay back, be cool, calm, and be the sniper your team needs. Oh, and I don't feature it all here, but I did a little bit. You have AT gems. You can also, especially with progressing with this tank line, and especially for new players, is you can get some experience with missiles. So the T-72 tank line has everything in it that is a core feature of Cold War mode. Armor, gun, speed, missiles. And with the True Vision, you can actually get experience with that safely and effectively. And this poor MBT-70. Oh, he tried to hide and then he failed. Thank you and good night. There I am, third play. Almost 10,000 damage. Best in game. But yeah, that's... If you play the T-72s a little more carefully, you will be far more successful and be less complained about for being just another newbie YOLOer. And with that, I will say goodbye. Keep your tracks on the ground. I hope RNG is in your favor. It's Momentary Genius saying the best tank for anyone is a T-72. Because no matter what, when you're in a T-72, you will hurt them.